Said that before, he can't shoot, and he's expensive. He's 9.4 million.
Yeah.
It was like watching Ferguson on the football field with pumping it into the Hudson. It was just awful. He just doesn't seem to. Yeah, it's like watching Wycombe Wanderers.
Wycombe Wanderers.
What about Guendouzi for Arsenal? Any value in there at 4.6 million?
Good player, but too defensive. Too defensive. He's not going to get goals.
Yeah, he's not.
4.6 is cheap, and he's cheap for a reason.
Yeah, he's a waste in your
points,
midfield.
He's definitely a waste.
So what are we saying then? We're saying Arsenal, we reckon, going to beat Bournemouth. I think there'll be goals for both teams in this.
Will
I think
Callum Wilson carry on?
Callum Wilson's on a great vein of form.
He scored every game this season.
I'm liking Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
7.9 million. He's more expensive than Abraham. I mean, he is for a reason, you know.
Yeah. Only 11.7% of FPL manager picked him, but he's averaged 6 points per game in a game.
That's a good return.
That's solid.
He's the fourth most high-scoring striker on the game. He's behind Aguero, Aubameyang, and Pukki, and then you got Callum. So,
and I think you should mention King.
Striker.
Surely Aubameyang is the man for Arsenal again.
Yes.
Fine form.
He's in form.
King has to have a mention just because he was probably the man of the match, you know, in terms of the Bournemouth side. He was actually the man of the match.
Yeah, you're right.
Of the whole game. Scored a good amount of points. A lot of people had Joshua King beginning of the season because he was 6.5 million starting out. Looked like a good value pick. Hasn't really performed in terms of points, but now he's starting to get on the score sheet and assists.
You think the thing is with King, right? He's actually 9th in the table of strikers in terms of point return. He's ahead of the likes of Rashford, Barnes, Haller, and good old Wood.
There you go.
So although you say he hasn't performed, he's not. He's just he's 6.3 million. He's cheaper than all of those other strikers, with the exception of Chris Wood, who's 6.2.
Yep.
I think King, he's coming into that vein of form. Got a goal, got an assist. Could be worth getting for this game. I'm going to say no, but maybe next week, maybe someone to look at.
Yep.
But King and
I don't think
Captain,
Arsenal's
take it away.
got a clear run. I think like Bournemouth have a good shout. I think with Callum Wilson and King starting to pump in those goals, I think, and the Arsenal defence being so dodgy, I think it could be an interesting game.
I mean, it's true. The Arsenal team, Aubameyang's got 53 points. The rest of the Arsenal team have gotten hardly any. Okay, we're going to leave Arsenal there then. So we reckon Arsenal are maybe going to beat Bournemouth. We think there'll be goals for both. Worth getting someone from either of those in your team. Manchester City versus Wolves.
Big game.
Who's going to be arrested? What's the rotation?
That is the question. Everyone's going to all eyes are going to be on Pep's selection.
I think Aguero's back in this week.
Champions League. I would say if Aguero's rested the Champions League, then he's going to be starting lineup. I think that's going to tell us a lot about his selection. But Mahrez is the guy for who I am seriously considering swapping out Sterling and putting Mahrez in.
But is Mahrez going to get rested? If any of them are going to get rested, he's a high contender.
But the good thing,
he's playing so well.
David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Aguero. The three of them rested this week.
I think the good thing for FPL managers is that you've got the Champions League game, right? That'll give you an indication as to who's going to be playing on Saturday or not. And like you said, right, whether kind of Sterling goes in for Mahrez or vice versa. I think definitely if Aguero plays, I think the Wolves defence isn't as good as last season, and therefore I think he's going to be in amongst the goals.
But Wolves came off the back of a 2-0 against Watford.
I still just don't feel that they're as strong as last season. So
do you see Man City scoring a lot of goals here?
I wouldn't say a lot of goals, but I think I would easily say it could be a 3-0.
If I look at any of these games this week, this is where I see the most goals.
It's funny you say that. Last year they won 3-0 against Wolves in the same fixture.
What happened to Wolves?
Jesus got 2 and they got an own goal from Conor Cody.
If there's going to be a game with goals in it, I can see a 5-0. I often get excited, I often go high scoring, but I do think City could do it. I mean,
I agree.
They've got fresh players to come back in. Aguero for me is going to be really hungry here, and he's at home. If he does play, I'm going to see goals for Aguero. So I'm going to go Aguero, De Bruyne. They're my two for City. It's too hard, isn't it, to pick City? You could pick all of them, but I'm going to say those two this week. Not really putting my neck out there. Anything else on you boys on that game?
No, that's a good shout.
Let's move on then. We've got a nice game, Southampton versus Chelsea.
Interesting.
That's a 9 a.m. for us. Chelsea away. Southampton just got beaten by the mighty Spurs. Are they going to bounce back?
So it looks like for a long time Southampton have not had a result against Chelsea at home. I know it's a different Chelsea side this year. I think Chelsea are playing well. You know, the Brighton result was a solid performance. They've got a few injuries back. You know, people are coming back. Hudson-Odoi, I have to name, looked really good when he came on, obviously got an assist. I think Chelsea will have too much for Southampton. As much as I like to say, you know, they try and play the right way, Southampton, I think Chelsea will be too good.
Has Hudson-Odoi been injured? Is that why he's not been playing?
Yes.
Okay, so he's back in. He's 5.9 million. He's not bad, is he?
It's not bad. I mean, he looked great. You know,
27 minutes he played.
Exactly.
Got an assist.
He got an assist. Got involved. Very attacking. He compliments Mason Mount. We all like to Mount. We cannot have a week without mounting Mount. It has to get mentioned. And Abraham. I think Abraham.
Russ is happy. He likes to Mount.
Even though I know a few of us were disappointed about Abraham at the weekend, but I think he will get on score sheet as well.
There you go. Mount Abraham this weekend.
So when I look at the Southampton team though, Danny Ings, your boy.
Danny Ings.
Danny.
I actually tip him to do well.
He's got 26 points.
Is Kepa going to have a
most.
gap? Is he going to gift him a goal?
He could do. He'll be there waiting to take it, as he's shown. I don't know. I see him coming onto some form, I hope. I'll keep him on my bench, maybe, first substitute slot. But
I mean,
I'm not convinced by Chelsea's defence. I
agree with you.
He could be
Southampton will get chances here. Southampton will get chances. You're right. So, I don't think it's going to be a 0-0 this one. I would say don't rely on the defence. Goals though, definitely Abraham will be back in it. Mount's there. Yeah. Danny Ings, I'm going to give him a shout. He's going to get chances here.
Yeah. St Mary's.
I reckon it'll be 3-1 to Chelsea.
Good
3-1 Chelsea. Ings is the top scorer for Southampton with 2. Although Vestergaard's got 2 as well, boys. So, he's fact check.
Fact checker.
He's got one. Danny Ings. So going on from that game then, it's the big one of the week, the one we've been waiting for.
Newcastle, Man United.
Newcastle
Park Lake.
I can only see a Newcastle
Alan Shearer, what do you think?
Alan Shearer and Michael Owen.
Away lads, I think I'm going to win.
Celebrity deathmatch, Alan Shearer versus Michael Owen.
Alan Shearer killing.
Yeah,
Captain, what do you think, mate? Do you think Newcastle going to beat Man U?
Yeah, no.
So enthusiastic.
Rashford was back from injury.
He played. Yeah.
I thought he was injured and then he came back from the dead.
He was never really injured. He just didn't look involved in the previous game.
Did you watch the Newcastle game last weekend? I mean, they were just abysmal. It was just.
They did only have 10 players.
Yeah, but it was painful. They've got no plan. They've got no. They need to pull something out of the bag this weekend.
So what's the difference between if they look abysmal and they have no plan? What's the difference between them and Man United?
Good shout.
Man United have quality players, but they just don't perform. You know, you've got Pogba, you've got James, but you've really got it's just Newcastle are. I really want them to do well. But I just see them dying of death at the moment. They're just gonna plummet. I mean, that was
they cannot score. They've scored 4 goals all season, and that's not good enough. That's the lowest scorers in the Premier League.
So do you think they should consider bringing back Alan Shearer?
I'd go for Owen. I think he's more likeable.
Where's Kevin Keegan?
He's got a bit more hair.
Where's Kevin Keegan?
Andy Carroll, the game the week before, they brought him on on the 80th minute. This time, were they 3-0 down by that point?
Yeah.
They brought him out on the 60th minute.
Yeah.
I did say last week that he did make a difference, but he's that's all they've got. I mean, they've got a key signing that hasn't scored yet, and it's just embarrassing is the word that it was embarrassing.
They definitely cannot score, but I am not confident for Manchester United in this game. I feel like this is a banana skin, and I feel at Newcastle, at St James's Park, the atmosphere is a bit different. They love to beat Man United. Manchester United not playing well. you say it today, 48 minutes to get a shot off on target. We're not doing what any United fan wants to see. I think Rashford is in the team, which we're lucky to have. We said it before, Lukaku, we lost Lukaku. We've got 2 strikers, mate. We've got Rashford and Greenwood.
Yeah.
2 strikers.
It's a lot to put on a young lad.
Martial's out.
But do you not think that kind of Pogba coming back from injury, starting to kind of find his feet, this could be a game where he starts to kind of click with the midfield and you know your forward line?
Yeah, but I mean, Pogba, he's played. You say back from injury, he's played 5 of our 7 games this season, and he's in fantasy Premier League terms, he's got 15 points. That's 3 a game.
True,
it's not good enough. He's not fantasy Premier League, right? He's not going to get you points at the moment. I mean, but also,
he's not worth picking.
He's not going to change our season on his own. Admittedly, he's a good player. I'm not going to say he's not, but he can't take penalties, I'll tell you that. But also, he's not going to change Manchester United's fortunes. And I am actually thinking this Newcastle game, I'm going to give it to us because my heart wants us to win. I'm going to say we win it 2-0. I think Rashford will get a double, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Score?
Can't see Newcastle scoring. They haven't scored in many games. They've only scored 4 all season, as I say. United aren't that bad at defending. I think in terms of.
So then it's a good shout to maybe get someone like Maguire in your team this week.
Potentially. I mean, we've only let in 7, which is. I say only, it's quite a few, but that's as many as Man City.
I've got to say, just to touch on that point about Maguire, actually, I think in the last few games, even against West Ham, Maguire, when Man United were struggling, Maguire is not afraid to get up the pitch and get involved with the set pieces, and he almost scored a couple of times today against Arsenal, or set up a couple of goals as well. So I kind of like that from Maguire. I think he wants to take ownership, he wants to be a leader in that team.
And you need that in any team.
And I think that will come to fruition sooner or later. He's only new to the team. Him and Wan-Bissaka, I know Wan-Bissaka got taken off injured in the Arsenal game, but him and Wan-Bissaka I think are very positive moves. Despite the negativity that's surrounding the club at the moment, I think they were still absolutely solid moves for me
and,
in the long term.
We're reporting a 75% chance of Wan-Bissaka playing in that game, so I think he'll be back. Hopefully he'll be back for our sake, because he's one of our brighter players.
Solid.
So I'm going to say United. I am going to say Rashford and Danny James or Maguire. They're the 3 I'll give you for Man United. Any Newcastle players that you boys can see?
I will keep Dubravka in goals, maybe. Doesn't seem Man United scoring a lot. I wouldn't put him in my team, but the fact he's in my goals at the moment, I'm not going to rush to take him out.
Who's your sub goalkeeper?
My sub goalkeeper is currently McGovern, who plays for Norwich.
You should get rid of him and put in the West Ham boy that's going to come in. That's a tip.
That's a great shout.
I just don't know if it's worth wasting a free transfer on a goalkeeper. There's more opportunity out there. Is why I'm really going to gain anything week over week. So I'll keep him in my team. I won't take him out, but no one particular player at Newcastle fired me.
Captain, I can see you smiling. Have you got something for Newcastle there?
No, absolutely
nothing for Newcastle. Brilliant. So we ain't seeing anything for Newcastle.
Avoid at all costs.
Avoid. So that's it, everyone. We've wrapped her through 10 games there. Can you believe it? That was really quick, eh? But that was fun. We're enjoying that. There's some great games this week. What we're going to do now, we've got 5 lads here today, so I'm going to move into captain picks. I'm going to ask you each just for 2 this week. We usually do 3, but I've done the maths. 3 4s is 12, 5 2s is 10, so it should be quicker.
There you go.
Ricky Pellegrini, I want to hear what you've got to say for us. 2 captain choices, doesn't have to be what you're going for, but 2 to think about for our listeners.
Well, I kind of have to touch on the theme that I was going with earlier, Mahrez. I honestly think he is the best player in the Premier League. In the last, I know De Bruyne is obviously stealing the headlines right now, but I think he is on the verge of something special. If he doesn't play in the Champions League, I would go with Mahrez as one of my big picks. And my
best player in the Premier League. That's a big call. I mean, he was great when Leicester won it.
In terms of form, I think he's back to his best.
He is good.
I think he's back to his best, and I think he's when we're talking about tips for FPL, I think he's one of those. On a second pick, I would have to go with, I would say, Harry Kane. I think against Brighton, I think I can see a victory for Spurs on the back of that victory last week. I think they're going to go ahead and win that game. So Mahrez.
And Kane's in form. He's got 2 in 2.
He's in form. form. So Mahrez and Harry Kane.
Captain, do you agree with those two, or have you got two of your own?
I've got two of my own.
And not your
own.
balls.
If I was to pick a Spurs captain, I'd probably go rather than Kane. I think he will score, but I think Son would be my captain. I think he's like more. There's more chance of him like assisting and actually scoring. I think Son for me would be a strong contender for a captain. And obviously Aguero is gonna. I think
great shout.
I think he could be a possible triple captain if you got him.
Oh, yeah, triple. Sean, the John McGinn fanboy. I know you've got Aguero. You're smiling there.
Yeah. I was thinking the same. I'll be keeping him as my captain. One caveat to that, though, depending what happens this midweek in the Champions League. If he plays and gets a knock or something else happens to him, we'll be watching out for that. So for making that decision for real. The only other person I thought about mentioning was Aubameyang. Again, there could be some value there. Arsenal, we said we think we'll score goals this week against Bournemouth. Or the opportunity to score goals at home. Maybe some